Today, we are building your financial self-defense kit. We're going to break down exactly how you can spot a fraudulent investment in less than a minute. And we'll do it by looking at the four most common red flags that, trust me, scammers just can't hide.
Look, the days of poorly written emails are pretty much over. Modern scams are incredibly sophisticated. We're talking sleek apps, professional websites, and sometimes they're even using AI influencers to build trust. But here's the thing. No matter how good they look on the outside, the engine on the inside is almost always the same old trick. And that engine is the Ponzi scheme. It's actually a beautifully simple idea, but it's incredibly destructive. Money comes in from new people, and some of that cash is used to pay the older members. This creates this perfect illusion of profit, but it's all just a house of cards waiting for a breeze.
Now, what's really terrifying about this is the inevitable outcome. When the new members stop coming in, and believe me, they always do, the whole thing just collapses. And the result? A staggering 90% of people who got involved lose everything they put in. Everything.
All right, let's dive in. We're going to walk through the four unmistakable signs of a financial trap one by one. And then at the end, we'll pull it all together into a really simple checklist you can use to protect yourself. So, first up, probably the oldest and biggest red flag in financial history, the promise of a guaranteed return. This one is so effective because it preys on our deep-seated desire for a sure thing. You will see language that looks almost exactly like this. They promise these unbelievable returns, often on a daily or monthly basis, and they always use those magic words, zero risk. It sounds like the perfect investment, doesn't it? But it's actually the perfect trap. And this just brilliantly illustrates the disconnect. A 30% return per month, that's astronomical. Just for some context, the average return of the entire stock market is around 10% per year. The numbers just don't add up. You know, in the real world of investing, risk and return are like inseparable twins. You just can't have high returns without high risk. So the most important thing is to just stop and ask yourself this one simple question. If somebody could genuinely make 30% a month completely risk-free, why on earth would they need your $1,000? They could just get a loan from a bank and become a billionaire all by themselves. The answer is they need your money because you aren't the investor. You are the product. Okay, let's move on to the next sign because this is what happens when you start asking questions. Scammers immediately deploy their second weapon, confusion.
You'll get hit with this wall of jargon. It's just a word salad, right? And it's designed to make you feel intimidated and stop you from asking the simple question. So, how does this actually make money? They're counting on you to just nod along and feel like you're in on some secret advanced technology.
Here is the simple rule to cut right through that smokescreen. A real business creates value in a way you can understand. It sells a product, it provides a service. If the explanation for how profit is generated sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, you should be very, very skeptical.
This brings us to the key test for this red flag. You have to ask, where is the actual value coming from? If you really dig down and you find that the only money entering the system is from new investors signing up, well, that's not a business. That is a Ponzi scheme, plain and simple. Now for the third red flag, which is a psychological one. See, scammers know that if you have time to think, you're going to see the flaws in their plan. So what do? They create a sense of intense urgency to force you to act on emotion, not logic.
Oh yeah, you'll hear all these phrases designed to make you feel special and rushed at the exact same time. Founders spots, limited time offers, pre-launch bonuses. It's all about making you feel like you're about to miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
But this urgency, it isn't real. It's a manufactured pressure tactic. Its only purpose is to trigger your fear of missing out, your FOMO, which basically short-circuits the logical, questioning part of your brain. So whenever you feel that intense pressure, just stop. Real, legitimate investments, whether we're talking about stocks, real estate, gold, they'll all still be there tomorrow. True wealth is built with patience and careful decisions, never with panic. All right, let's look at the final major sign, and this is where the mask really slips, and the whole focus shifts from the amazing investment to just getting more people in the door. The language completely changes. All of a sudden, it's about bonuses for recruiting, building a downline, unlocking levels. This is the classic vocabulary of a pyramid scheme, where the structure itself is the business.
Now, don't get me wrong. Some legitimate companies have referral programs. But here's the crucial difference. In a scam, recruitment isn't some side bonus. It is the main way you earn money.
The supposed investment is just a cover story for the recruitment engine.
So here is the definitive question you have to ask yourself. Without referring a single person, is this still a profitable investment on its own? If the answer is no, or even a hesitant yes but, then you know the truth. The entire system depends on an endless supply of new people, and that, my friends, is the definition of an unsustainable pyramid.
Okay, so we've covered the 4 big warning signs. Now, let's put this all together into a simple, powerful tool you can use anytime you're presented with one of these so-called opportunities. This is it, the 60-second checklist. Before you ever even think about sending money, just ask these 3 questions. Is the return guaranteed and just way too high? Is the business model too complex to explain? And is there intense pressure to join right now and bring other people in? If you get even one yes, that is a massive, massive red flag. Walk away and keep your money safe. And this is the final, crucial insight to take away with you. These schemes work because they exploit very human emotions, the desire for a shortcut, the fear of being left behind. They aren't hacking your bank account, they're hacking your mindset. And the best defense is to just accept that there's no elevator to wealth. You have to take the stairs.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Armed with this checklist, what so-called opportunities out there suddenly look a whole lot more like traps? Being aware is the first and most important step to protecting yourself, and maybe even protecting the people you care about.